Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Break Your Face TV. And if you couldn't tell from how excited I am, let me tell you, we've got a special guest today, a very exciting fighter in the Brave super lightweight division, the Shadow, as they call him, Mr. Ahmed Labban. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hello, Abdullah. Thank you so much for this invitation.
How are you doing on this wonderful day, sir?
I'm doing good. It's Sunday now. It's a rest day, and I'm in the middle of the weight cut. It's not easy, but yeah, I'm used to it right now.
I can only imagine how difficult it is. Thank you so much for giving us your time, especially during the weight cut. And it's always a pleasure to speak with our Lebanese brothers. Ahmed, we have a very diverse group of followers, some hardcore MMA fans and some new ones as well. If we may please just take a moment to give a brief background on you for those who may be less familiar. I'd like to start on the personal side, please. You're Lebanese, but you're currently living and training in Croatia with American top team Croatia. Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be?
So I used to live in Lebanon before, almost 1 year. The whole of my life, I used to always, when I have fight, I used to come here only for training camp. But now I decided I found out that if I can come and stay here, I can be much better in this game. And on top of that, we have, bad situation in Lebanon. Nobody are able to live normally because of the economic crisis. That's why I moved here for 2 reasons, and I'm glad now. I'm improving a lot here.
Alhamdulillah, it has treated you well. On the fighting side, you're a former Lebanese boxing champion, a Muay Thai champion. You're currently fighting in Brave Combat Federation with an impressive record of 11 wins and only 4 losses. More impressive than that is that of your 11 wins, 8 have come by way of KO or TKO, 2 by submission, and only 1 by decision, a near perfect finish record. Your only decision win came against the man who you face once again at Brave CF 56, Nemanja Kovac. Now, his record is 13 wins and 5 losses, but of those 13 wins, 9 have come by way of knockout, so he's clearly a dangerous opponent. You threw everything at him in the first fight, and somehow he still didn't manage to quit. You did win decisively, 30-27 on all judges' scorecards, but he was tough. Ahmed, since this fight was announced, I've been meaning to ask you one question. You've already fought this guy. His nickname is the Sledgehammer. He's not an easy opponent. Why do you want to fight him again?
Because after this fight, he called me out again, and he talked some bad words about me. He said that I was running away from him in the fight, and I don't know, he maybe forget that he got cut in his forehead, and a lot of knees, a lot of front kicks, jabs, cross, uppercuts. I don't know why he wants to fight me again, and because he has this he's insists to fight me again. I would give him a chance again because it's in Serbia as well. So when first time I refused to fight him, he kept talking about this fight and he wanted a rematch because it was decision, but it was clearly for me. And I didn't get I wasn't interested to fight him again until it become the event was setting in Serbia. So the matchmaker asked me, "Do you want to fight? You have 3 options. You have him, and you have 2 other options." And I said, "Okay, let's fight him again." So it's in Serbia, and I always like to make promotions. I always like to promote my fights in the way I fight and everything. I try to do what I speak. And now I have a chance because my opponent is Serbian and it will be in Serbia, so it's gonna be better than I'd rather fight Serbian in his country than other people who's not Serbian. That's why. And it was a good fight. Everyone likes this fight.
It was a good fight. Ahmed, you fed him a feast of strikes. You cut him up really good, as you mentioned as well in the second round. Gave him plenty of punches, kicks, and knees. I'm wondering though, did you feel at any point during that fight, what do I need to do to finish this guy? What do I need to do to knock him out?
Yeah, I was like after I threw 12 knees in a row. The knees was like 25 knees on the face in the whole fight. During the fight, and a lot of Muay Thai friends told me we have never seen a Muay Thai fight like this. Muay Thai, like 25 knees in the face, and one point was I threw 12 knees in a row in his face. So after this 12 knees, he went forward, and I was like doing this, and I went back. I was like, what shall I do with this guy to finish him? I don't know what happened in that time, but now it's going to be much better than the last fight. I promise everyone it's going to be a big win, this fight.
Inshallah, inshallah. Did you break your foot in that fight? I remember it got pretty swollen in the second round. Okay. A kick that connected with his elbow?
Yeah, to be honest, when I'm fighting, I don't feel if I get hurt. If I don't, I always not make sure how I hurt myself. Mm-hmm. But I remember in the second round, I wasn't walking normally, but I was suffering and struggling and seeking the win.
How do you continue when you've got a broken bone in your body? And you just continue, as we said, in the second round, the foot was broken. It's not like this happened at the very end of the fight. So how do you continue with that pain? You've got a broken foot and you're still kicking the guy, you're still punching him, you're still kneeing him. What's going on in your mind at that time?
It's my mindset after a lot of bad things happened in our country. I stopped fighting for more than 1 year and I lost my previous fight before Nemanja, and I was very sad. It put me in a bad situation, the baddest situation in my life when I lost before Nemanja, this fight. I had the most saddest moment in my life. And I was training to get back. I didn't get any chance to fight again until more than 1 year against Nemanja. I had bad situations in Lebanon. I had a very bad financial situation as well. I had my own gym. I just left it. It cost me a lot. It cost me everything, and I even borrowed money to make this gym. Just because I want to get money from this gym. What is my plan of this gym? Just to get money and pay for training camps to continue fighting. So it was all about my career. I'm giving everything for my career, and I lost my fight. So I just left the gym. I had no money. I borrowed money from my friends to come to Croatia to train and to fight. So I'm not just giving everything for my career. I'm taking I'm borrowing money to give this game, and in the fight, every hit or every time I get hurt in that fight against Nemanja, I was thinking, no, like he's not gonna win. Whatever he did, he's not gonna win. And God helped me. God gave me this strength, and it came from me first. And when God appreciates you, He helps you all the time.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Ahmed, since your last fight with him, You had one fight which you won. He had one fight which he lost. Now, regardless of the outcome, fighters usually grow with every fight they have, and they develop between every fight in training as well. Do you think there are any areas where he might have improved since the last fight that would lead you to change your game plan this time around? If so, what will you change? I mean, of course, other than not breaking your foot, what will you change this time around?
So when I fight him first time, he had 6-win streak, and I have one loss for more than 1 year. For me, I didn't care about anything. The only thing I care about is to fight and win. I never think about the submission or KO or decision. I just want to win. When I knock out my opponent, it's always not on purpose. I'm just doing what I learned, and I land some good shot, and it happens. But like, he lost, as he told me, and I won. I have now 2-win streak, and he has 2-loss streak. Of course, he gonna change his game plan, but for me, I always have game plan. I always, even if I win, even though I won, I have game plan. If I lost, I won, I always have new game plan for any fight. Even if I'm doing rematch with him, I have my own game plan. I always change. I don't throw the same shots as the previous fight. Never, even if I'm winning. I always think that my opponent knows me. I just want him to know that he still doesn't know me. In the fight, he will figure out in the fight, not now.
Okay. We tend to see that change in styles, not only from one fight to another with you, but even within the same fight. And the first round could be something, the second round could be something else. If you can, though, tell us, do you plan on finishing him this time? Are you looking for a knockout or a submission? Do you want to erase that decision loss, that decision win, that only decision win on your record? Would it be, let's say, how sweet would it be to finish it this time around?
Okay, as you asked me, the first round is different than the second and the third. Because every time I finish the first round, I sit with my coach between 2 rounds, because you have 1 minute to rest, to keep relaxed, to think what you have done wrong and what you have done right. So if you done something wrong, you can improve it. If you done something right, you can continue doing it. Means it's helping you. And at the same time, you have to be careful of everything you've done right, because your opponent will be waiting for this hit, let's say, to block it and counter it. So I always change my plans from one to another round, because I don't want to stay on on the same game plan I'm doing every round. That's why I always change to and this is my game, to frustrate my opponent all the time. And you asked me about what I'm planning for this fight, if it's decision, knockout, or submission. For me, I don't mind. I don't mind how it goes. I just want to win. I want to prove him again that I'm gonna beat him. If it comes a knockout, it comes in submission, I don't mind. And I will be happy. It's a bonus for me. But the most important thing is to beat that guy again.
Yeah. And inshallah, we'll see that hand raised. Ahmed, if we may please take a moment to rewind to BRAVE CF 52 in Italy. You had an excellent performance against Virgilio Frassignac, in which you started the fight with some crazy calf kicks. You later on hurt him with a big overhand right. You ran in with kicks, knees, and punches, and you won by TKO in second round in true Ahmed Labban fashion, might I add. I'd like to ask you, however, not about what happened during that fight, but more about the call out that came after. You called out the former lightweight champion Amin Ayoub for what you claimed to be was the third time. Now, we had Amin on the show with us before his fight with Ahmed Amir, and I have to say before continuing that, like all our guests, we have the utmost respect for Amin Ayoub, a true gentleman. He was very generous with his time with us. I asked him, however, about your call out. He said that you called him out one time only. Some messages were exchanged later on Instagram, and you said, according to Amin, that your weight was still a little bit higher at the time than you needed it to be, and he told you to talk to his management whenever you're ready. He told us that he would have no problem giving you your rematch, and he even said, it's easy money for me. How do you respond to Amin Ayoub?
For me, I'm not interested anymore to fight that guy, because he's lying to you. I have proofs. I have proof that I called him out 3 times. I have videos and after every fight I'm calling him out. And but he's coward. I don't like, if he's really telling you that I called him once, he's lying. He's lying, and I'm not interested to fight him anymore. I know he beat me once. I made a big mistake in that fight, but I'm sure, I was sure after this fight, I was sure, like, I'm better fighter than him, 100%. I know my skills, and I see his skills, I see his fights, and he always get lucky in every fight he do. I watch his fights. Every time he's losing, and he win in the last round by submission, by KO. I don't know how. Yeah, but I always say, like, he's not gonna be in a high level. He's not gonna be in a high level. He's not gonna be in the UFC one day, because he's not like he's not a real man. He's not a guy who it comes up like from personality. I don't like his personality, the way he thinks. Like, he came to fight me once, but because I can't say any excuse about the previous fight. I had a construction in my gym, and on top of that, I broke my leg in training camp. I had a cast, and he was calling me out, and I wasn't ready. But because it cost me a lot, this lesson to learn, because I was emotional. Anyone who calls me, I go for it, wherever he is, and I always fight anyone. I never skip any fight. I never run away from any fight. So he called me, and I signed a contract with a broken leg, with a cast on my leg, and after that I went to make surgery to remove this cast, and there was a screw inside my shin. I removed it, and I was unfocused because he was talking a lot of shit before the fight. He was telling me, I'm gonna break you, I'm gonna do this and that, and he said that I refused to fight him before in Phoenix. First, it was in Phoenix, the fight, and the Phoenix stopped. You know what happened with Phoenix fighting championship is they set us to fight against each other, and something went wrong with them, and they stopped doing events, and that the fight has to be cancelled then. And he started to say, I refuse to fight him, and I signed the contract to fight him. Then it started trash talking from that time, and he said, like, if I gonna fight him now in UAE Warriors, we were in UAE Warriors, I'm gonna break him, I'm gonna change his look, and blah, blah, blah. And I was doing construction, and I don't want to fight, because in that time, I was focused on my construction in gym, and I had shin surgery. But because he talked a lot, I signed the contract, and it was a lesson I learned now. So after that, I called him out again, and he don't want to fight me for 3 times. And now, if he asked for a rematch, I'm not interested anymore, because I don't have time for this childish talk. Like, I want to fight you, then just go away. When you want to fight me, I want to make sure that you're going to fight me so I can train, and I go to the cage with you. Not, oh yeah, I'm going to fight you, and and nobody like he told me yes on Instagram. I texted him last time, and his manager said yes as well, and I can show you. But no, they didn't talk to the matchmaker. Brave was promoting this fight when they saw that I'm calling him out because I called him out in the microphone after my last fight, and I posted on my story that I'm calling him out and they were always reposting my posts, but he didn't answer. He don't want, and I know, with all my respect for Ahmed Amir, but Ahmed Amir is weaker than his previous opponents, the Brazilian and the Cameroon fighter, and then one from Netherlands. Ahmed Amir is a lower level than them. You can see in topology as well. And with my all respect for him, he's a good fighter, but Amin Ayoub is lower than him. That's why he lost. He used to get lucky a lot, but when the time came that he's not lucky anymore, he lost. And I was waiting for this time to come. I was sure that one day he's gonna lose against any fighter. And this is his limit. Everyone has to know his limit.
We can't wait to see how your fight goes down. I mean, not only have we got the 18th of December to look forward to, but we're excited to see what happens next. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, but before we sign off, we do want to give you a moment to give a message to all the people that have been supporting you, your fans across the world, whether in Croatia, Kuwait, Lebanon. What would you like to tell them?
I would really like to thank everyone who support me. Their support, it means a lot to me, and from Croatia, Kuwait, Lebanon, and everywhere. And for the real supporters, I promise you with a great show in my upcoming fight.
We're really looking forward to it. Ahmed, thank you so much for your time. It's truly a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. I know you're going through a weight cut. I know how difficult that is. I know you're flying out to Serbia very soon. So I can't thank you enough. Wish you all the best, inshallah, on the 18th of December. We'll be watching closely.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. And we'll keep in touch again.